What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new year. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the movies that I'm really anticipating coming out this year that will either surprise the living hell out of us or just disappoint us to no end. When I was looking at the calendar for this year, it looks like we're going to be eating really good, and I'm hoping that every single movie that comes out this year crushes it. Of course, just like every year, that's not going to happen. Some of the movies on this list are probably going to disappoint us, and some of them might even surprise us. But these are the movies that I'm looking forward to, and if the year ended tomorrow, these are the movies that are probably going to end up being in my top 10 of the year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started talking about the movies that I'm really anticipating this year that will hopefully knock it out of the park. Now, this isn't going to be in any particular order. I'm just going to be rambling on a couple of movies that I'm really looking forward to. So there won't be any countdown of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, this is just going to be the order that I'm putting it in. It's pretty much going to be in the same order of release. Some might be delayed into next year. Hopefully none of these get delayed into next year. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the movies that I'm really looking forward to. Now, I said that there wasn't going to be a countdown, but this is my pretty much my number one most anticipated film of the year, and I wasn't really expecting this movie to be my anticipated film of the year, especially in a year when we have a Christopher Nolan movie, a Spider-Man movie, and an Avengers movie. But Project Hail Mary is one that I'm really looking forward to. I haven't read the book, so I really don't know anything about this movie, but the trailers look like it's going to be an emotional roller coaster ride from beginning to end. Plus, on top of that, you have Lord and Miller directing this movie. Every single movie that they've done, they've knocked it out of the park, from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball to the Jump Street movies to even some of their side projects. Like Christopher Miller did the Apple TV show The After Party, which was a huge surprise. At least the first season, never saw the second season, but this movie looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It might be a contender for Best Picture of the Year coming in the Oscars for next year, so hopefully this movie knocks it out of the park. But yeah, this wasn't one that I was expecting to be as high as it is. It is my number one most anticipated film of the year, so hopefully this movie crushes it out of the park. The next movie on the list is Lee Cronin's The Mummy. I vaguely remember the Mummy movies, but this isn't really attached to that, since we got an announcement saying that we're going to be getting a fourth Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, I believe. But this is going to be kind of like Universal continuing their monster universe that isn't really connected together, because that failed the first time. But the reason why this movie is on my anticipation list but also has me worried is because I really enjoyed what Lee Cronin did with Evil Dead Rise. I believe that's the movie that he directed, and so that really has me interested on the direction that this movie is going to be going in. I'm hoping the trailer really pulls me into this new kind of direction, because I've sort of enjoyed the new version of the Monsters universe that Universal is creating. They started it off with The Invincible Man, then they followed it up with Wolfman last year, which was one of my probably my most disappointing film of the year. That's why it would be lower on the list if I was ranking them. But I'm really interested to see what Lee Cronin is going to be doing with this Mummy movie. Hopefully it steers us in the right direction. Hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this movie just because of Lee Cronin's name and what he was able to do with the Evil Dead Rise movie. So Lee Cronin's Mummy is on the list. The next one on the list is Mortal Kombat 2. I watched the first Mortal Kombat movie for the first time when the 2021 film was coming out, and I really enjoyed that movie. The 2021 movie was a step in the right direction, but at the same time it still has the issues that every single video game movie has. But I'm really hoping that this movie does what Five Nights at Freddy's 2 failed to do. Not just be a fun and exciting movie for the fans and for the general audience that isn't really familiar with all the lore and stuff like that. Hopefully they're able to learn from their mistakes and be able to embrace the camp, embrace the cheese, because I think most of the 2021 Mortal Kombat movie was a lot of fun. It had some gnarly action sequences. I really enjoyed some of the characters. It definitely leaned into the camp a little bit more than I was expecting it to, but I came out with a really big smile on my face, and I'm really hoping that Mortal Kombat 2 is able to learn from the mistakes and be able to improve on that movie, while at the same time also knowing exactly what this movie is and isn't really trying to do anything new. As long as they are able to stay on that road and not diverge away from it, I'm going to be really satisfied. Next up on the list is Scary Movie 6. This movie has me extremely worried, but at the same time really excited, mostly because you have the whole gang coming back together. The Wayne brothers are full intact. The family business is back. Plus you also have Regina Hall or Regina King. Do apologize if I can't remember which one's which, but you have Brenda and Sydney coming back, Marlon Wayans coming back as Shorty. You have cast members from the past scary movies coming back, and hopefully they're able to give us some gold here that we've been missing for quite a while. The main reason why I'm really excited for this movie is because we just had the Naked Gun movie prove that you can still do a spoof movie brilliantly. That movie had me laughing from beginning to end. I really love that movie, but I'm really hoping that Scary Movie 6 is able to just step it up in one more direction, be as offensive as it possibly can without being tethered by people complaining about how offensive this movie is. I'm really hoping that this movie is able to bring back everything that we loved about the first two Scary Movie movies and have something new. Hopefully the humor is stronger, but I'm also really worried because none of the Marlon Wayans projects that he's done outside of Scary Movie has really knocked it out of the park for me. Really enjoyed the first Haunted House movie, which was a blast from beginning to end. The second one really disappointed me. Kind of wish it was a little bit more like the first one. So I'm hoping that this is the one that brings us OG Wayans brothers back to prominence. Next on the list is The Odyssey. I'm not gonna have a most anticipated film of the year without having a Nolan movie. I'm really excited to see what Christopher Nolan is going to do with The Odyssey and see this huge war on the big screen. Hopefully it's intense, it's insane. It's probably going to be 3 hours or close to it, but I'm going to be locked in because I love what he did with Oppenheimer. That was one of my most surprising films of 2023, and seeing what he was able to do with that talkie movie, I'm hoping he's able to do a lot of that over to The Odyssey, and hopefully give us something grand, something huge, and hopefully be one of the most surprising films of the year and of the summer. Next on the list, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be eating good, because after The Odyssey, I just mentioned the previous film, but it's Evil Dead Burn. I have really enjoyed the Evil Dead movies from 2013 and the 2023 one. Those movies, even though it does go in more of the serious way, where the original films felt like they were more in the camp and cheese side of it all, I'm really enjoying what they're doing with the Evil Dead movies, and I'm really hoping that this movie knocks it out of the park. I believe it's directed by somebody else, not Lee Cronin. Probably my only worry about this movie. But if it wasn't for the fact that Evil Dead Rise just knocked it out of the park for me, didn't love it as much as the 2013 one, probably because I got spoiled with that movie, with just how bloody and gory that movie was. I still enjoyed it for what it was, and I'm really hoping we're still on that same trajectory. I'm hoping that we are able to stay the course and have a lot of fun with this movie. I'm really enjoying this franchise, so hopefully they're able to knock it out of the park. But the following week, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day. No Way Home is probably the one movie that I've seen multiple times in theaters that includes re-releases. I really enjoyed that movie. Not sure how much of it has to do with the fact that we had the 3 Spider-Men in it, and we also had the villains from the past, but I really love Spider-Man No Way Home. That movie holds a very special place in my heart, so seeing what they're going to be doing with Brand New Day, I'm hoping that Daniel Destin Cretton, do apologize if I butcher the name, is able to give us some new blood into this franchise and see what he's cooking up, because from the set photos it looks like we're going to be eating good. The cast looks a lot of fun. Still really don't know what the main story of this movie is, but unlike No Way Home, I'm going to be staying away from the leaks as much as possible, because I think some of my enjoyment was a little bit diminished because I knew the leaks going into it. Some of it turned out to be true, some of it didn't turn out to be true, but I'm staying away from the leaks as much as possible. So hopefully Daniel Destin Cretton, think I got it right that time, is able to give us something new. Hopefully we'll be able to swing into a new era of Spider-Man movies. Next movie on the list is The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. This is a movie that I'm really surprised I'm actually looking forward to. I enjoy the Hunger Games movies for what they are. Enjoyed the first 2 halves of Snakes and Songbirds, but didn't really enjoy the last half of the film. But this movie looks like it's going to be emotionally charging, and from the looks of the comments, it looks like everybody is also getting emotionally ready for this movie. The fact that we're going to be following a younger Hamish, seeing everything that he went through, that is probably one of the most compelling ideas that gets me really excited for another Hunger Games movies. I want to see what kind of games he went through. I'm hoping that these are more vicious and strong games than they are in the previous films. But the trailers look like it's going to be an emotional roller coaster ride. Hopefully they're able to knock it out of the park with this movie. So Sunrise on the Reaping, you made it on the list. The next one on the list is Avengers Doomsday. It's an Avengers movie. So you think I'm not going to have it on the list? Of course I'm going to have it on the list. Is this going to be pure nostalgia bait? Probably, but that is an easy way to get me into this movie. I'm really excited to see what they're going to be doing. I'm enjoying the teasers that we've gotten so far. Don't really know the general premise of everything going on, but seeing Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU as Doctor Doom, maybe coming back as Tony Stark, who knows, we'll see. But I'm really excited to see what the Russos are cooking up. They haven't really disappointed me in the MCU. Outside of the MCU is a completely different story, so we're not going to really talk about that. But every single time that they're attached to an MCU project, that gets me really excited. The Winter Soldier was one of my biggest surprises. Civil War was just insane. Avengers Infinity War and Endgame were fantastic from beginning to end, all in their own unique ways. So hopefully they're able to knock it out of the park for Avengers Doomsday. That will get us even more excited going into Avengers Secret Wars. But the last movie on the list comes out the same day. Maybe. Who knows if they're going to be able to keep that release date. I think they're going to move it up probably until like beginning of October, but it's Dune Part 3. I really enjoy the first two Dune movies. They are great. I enjoyed the sci-fi elements. They aren't really my type, but the way that Denis Villeneuve is able to take the Dune material and just expand this world really gets me intrigued. I've heard some things about Dune Messiah, which is what this movie is going to be based on, but it looks like it's probably going to be taking the liberties of some other books as well. Really excited to see what Denis Villeneuve is going to be doing with this movie. Don't really know anything going into this movie about Dune. Not reading any of the books because I'm not really that big of a reader. So hopefully this movie is able to surprise us and give us something new, something refreshing, and be a really fun double feature if they do decide to stick with the release date that they have, so we can have Avengers Doomsday double feature. So hopefully this movie is able to knock it out of the park because Denis Villeneuve hasn't really disappointed me just yet. But those are my anticipated films of the year. Let me know down in the comments, what are your most anticipated films of the year? Which one are you looking forward to? Which one do you think are going to be the most surprising for you? Drop those thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys for the next video.